Hello, good morning everybody. I hope you can see my screen. So I'm really sorry, yesterday actually thought I was streaming live to this channel only to realize that I was actually streaming on another one. So I'm really sorry about that. But then I have some good news for the week. I think certain pairs here are showing us exactly what we expect them to be showing us, and that will give us the correct place to trade from this week. So we'll start off with this EURUSD. EURUSD so far, this is what we are seeing. We are seeing a possibility that the price is continuing to the upper side. We have an active uptrend. Just look at how active this trend is. I'm trying to change the period for the indicator. Look at how perfect this uptrend is. The price has been perfectly to the upper side. We keep seeing price moving upwards, and then we had a resistance here. We had a very good resistance around this point here. So far the price went beyond it. We had this resistance here, a very good resistance. There's a move down. Price came back, used the same place as a resistance. It continued down, came back and even went above, retraced back, and then somehow the price is still above that zone. So that is a very good place to look for a sell from. If you are looking for a trade as we're speaking, you better be looking for a buy up to this resistance here. This is a very good resistance. If this is a very good resistance, a resistance, we had this, a resistance, then price went above, came back. We are currently at the same place where which was used as a resistance previously. So this should be the correct place to buy it from. Buy it in between that range. Have your stop loss below this candle here, and then you should have your take profit here somewhere around that point. So if you are looking at this chart at the moment, you should be looking for buy positions. Buy it exactly as I've mentioned. Buy it there, have your stop loss where I've placed my stop loss, and then have a take profit also where I've placed the take profit. That should be the correct place. So we are going to move forward. We're going to move forward to our next symbol, GBPUSD. The PUSD so far, it successfully closed above the level where we wanted to close above, which means we expect price to proceed to the upper side. So we had this level here, a very good resistance, and then we had seen that the price could break above this level, which indeed it did. It broke above. So we want price to now retrace back up to the same level. Let price come back down. Let price come back up to this level here. Then you should pick a buy up to 1.3307, which is at the very top. So this week GBPUSD is a buy, which means the buy we are seeing on USD is also a very good one. So these are the two trades. If price can pull back massively or immediately up to this level before mid of this week, then we'll actually pick a buy. We expect that buy to take price up to around 1.13307. That's what we expect this week. We expect a buy on GBPUSD. We also expect another good buy on EURUSD, and then we want to see what we expect on USD/JPY. So USD/JPY actually should be moving opposite the other pairs. The first two pairs that I mentioned, USD/JPY should be moving opposite them. This is what we have. We start off with the weekly. This is what we have on the weekly. We had a level here last week, and then we had another level here, then we had another level at the bottom, then we had another level there, and then we had this level, and then we have one last one at the very top. So wherever the price is now, this level here, 108.48, is actually a very good resistance and a sell place. So if you are looking at this chart and you want to trade it correctly, maybe on the 1 hour, 30 minutes, course you should be looking for a sell. We are around a weekly resistance. That's the first thing. We are around a weekly resistance. So the best you should be doing now is to look for sell positions, and if better, scale down to a lesser time frame, then look for a sell from that lesser time frame. That's the correct thing you should be doing. Looking for a sell on a lesser time frame. So we'll move forward. This is a sell place. Whatever strategy you choose to use, whatever signal you use before you enter trade, just ensure it's showing you a sell signal around this level 108.48. If you sell it there, hold on up to this point. But if price breaks above the same place where you want to sell from, then we have a very minor level here. This is a very good level. I've not marked it, but it's really significant. Price may likely come back to it before we can see another move even higher up to 114.10. So we are going to move forward. We're going to move forward to our next chart, and that should be SP500. So one thing before we move to SP500, I'd like to mention that SP500 tends to move the same way with USD/JPY. So if you see a similar signal on SP500, if you're looking for a sell on USD/JPY, you better be looking for the same sell on SP500. The two appears to be moving in the same direction. Always they tend to follow each other. So we'll start off, we'll move to USD/JPY, which I mean SP500. This is how the chart looks, and on this one, something significant happened yesterday. Just look at how good this resistance was. A resistance, there's a move down, came back as a resistance. So we basically marked this some few weeks ago. We also marked this some few weeks ago, and then we marked this as a resistance. But then, as you can see, what happened yesterday, the price actually broke above that trend line, which means we now expect price to proceed to the upper side. So just wait for a minor move to the upper side, just a little move upwards, then a retracement, and then you can continue buying it, expecting price to proceed even higher. So that is simply what we expect to happen on that one. We expect a retracement back to the place where we wanted to sell from yesterday. Then we should be able to pick a buy from that point, expecting that buy to push price even higher. So this chart basically is a buy, which means the sell we are seeing on USD/JPY may actually not mature. We may likely see a break above the zone where we wanted to sell from on the weekly, on the USD/JPY. So this, in my opinion, this is now a good buy. So wait for price to come back to this level here, this trend line. Then we should be able to buy it from that point. We expect price to proceed even higher upon retracing back to that trend line. So we'll move forward. We'll move to next symbol, which is Brent oil. This is how Brent oil looks, and one thing, I'm not going to change anything on this chart. This chart still looks as good as it was last week. So we are not going to try to change anything. It looks very good the way it is. We have either sell or a buy from the line which I've drawn. So if price does not break below this level, then the only thing remaining is a buy. If price breaks below it, then that should give us a sell up to the places which I've mentioned, this and this one. So the chart is very, very clear that there is nothing to be nothing to be changed here. The same position we had last week is the same position we are still having, just that we are waiting for price to come back to the levels which I've drawn. If price can hit any of the lines, either the diagonal trend lines or the horizontal lines, then that will give us the correct place to trade from. So we'll move forward. We'll move forward to the last symbol, and that should be gold. This is how gold looks. So on gold, there's something which I'm seeing developing. We had this. There's a very good thing that looks like a very good trend line for me. Let's mark it on one now. I have this, then I have the entire place which is there. So the red line which you're seeing is actually the ask line. I want to delete that immediately. We have that. Then we also have another line from the lower side, which is this one. So what this two line means is we are still in some shape. So if price comes back to any of those lines that are forming that shape, we're actually going to look for a trade. If it bounces off of many of those trades, if it bounces above the up one, we look for a sell. If it bounces off from the lower one, we'll look for a buy. Same way, if it breaks above any of those lines, we look for a trade in the direction of that break. So I hope that makes sense. That should make a lot of sense, that we are looking for a trade. If price gets to any of those levels, we'll look for a trade. If price breaks above, we look for a buy. If it breaks below, we'll look for a sell. So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end of today's market overview. If you have any questions, kindly feel free to let me know. Type them under the chat option, which is here. Let me know very well the question. If you have any chart that you want me to look at, kindly also post them here. So see you. Bye.